Do you know that thing, Fanta face, Coke body?
Fanta face, Coke body?
Yeah, it's like when somebody's bleached their face.
Oh!
Do you worry about like having a network and like leaving friends, losing touch, and like losing those kinds of relationships?
No.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, you're in the frame with me, Julie, a special guest.
Hello guys.
I'm honored. I think you're the first guest in this.
You've never done a collab?
Well, I had my sister on the sister tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, second.
Wow,
First
I
in a
feel
long
honored.
time. We just filmed a part 1 of this video on my channel, so you'll see that in the link below.
Yeah.
Now, today, this afternoon, we're going to talk to you about goals for 2020 and how we are both pursuing a location independent lifestyle. What is that?
This is a hot topic, guys.
I'm so glad you asked. What's a location independent lifestyle?
Okay, I would say a location independent lifestyle is being able to live anywhere you want for as long as you want and still being able to support yourself financially as you go.
Sure. So what we spoke about on her channel is working remotely and how we've been able to get the jobs and gigs that we have or have had in the past, and how exactly to get remote work, what exactly it is, things like that. So if you are not up to scratch with that, or you just want to see what we said, you can go to our channel.
Yeah, it was more of a Q&A.
Yeah. So this came to my mind because watching Teshi's 2020 goals, a vision board video, she talks about wanting to be in a new city every month.
Yeah.
You still feel that way?
I said every other month. Because every month I would love to, but I don't think I'm there yet. But maybe every two months or every 3 months. Yeah.
So I kind of wrote down like some things to bring up.
Yeah.
First thing, probably on everybody's mind is money.
Yeah.
So
how do you get the money to finance this
how you gonna do
lifestyle?
that?
So you can go and check out my video, but basically we talked about a lot about remote working jobs, and that's basically getting a job that will allow you to work from anywhere while you're still earning a living. And there are very many different types of jobs you can get and different types of industries you can look into, but I think we went into so much detail in the previous video.
So basically, we have slightly different situations in that Teshi had a job. Did you go to the office when you were in Cape Town?
No.
Okay. So
never. It was always remote.
But she has a job that's like she'll get paid every month.
Yeah, it's a constant. Yeah, it's a constant job. It's a full-time job, but then it's a remote working job. Yeah. So I'm an employee and I get a salary every month, but then I have the privilege of working from anywhere. Yeah.
For me, what I also said in that video is currently I'm still looking for a full-time job that will be remote and that will like let me have this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And what I have been doing for the past year or so is being a freelance writer. So that means either getting commissions coming to me, which was really cool, but majority of the time is me pitching editors of magazines and online publications, even other blogs. I've written for other blogs and gotten paid.
Yeah. This one is glaring. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, it's better.
It's an improvement. So it's been like gig life, freelance life, which is like pretty tough. Even though I enjoy it, it's still, you're not assured money every month. Even if you have the job and you're doing the work, sometimes it'll be like, okay, you invoice us now, you may or may not see the money when you expect to see the money.
Yeah.
I know some employers are like that also, but it's just a little bit better to have a contract. So I did actually interview for something and it feels like I got it. So that's at least like one guaranteed, but it's not a whole lot. I like, from the goals that I have for the year, I would like more money.
Yeah.
Things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking for another one.
Yeah.
So that's 2 different ways of working remotely.
Yeah.
Go on gigs and like you can be a freelancer or you can be an employee.
Yeah, that's
or
true.
Both.
That's true. For me, I'm also trying to do both. Because like the being a full-time employee is nice because at least you're assured of something every month. But those months when you just want something extra, freelancing can really help.
Or for like emergencies or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also another thing is one thing, like I know whenever I get paid like my first big payment of the year, I'm gonna need to, we were talking about like I everything I have needs upgrading. Like I said, my camera died. I would really like to upgrade my phone. It's not an emergency, but it would be nice. I'm going to need a new computer like sooner or later. It's 4 years and like sis is dying on me. with that, because those are your tools of the trade, and
Yeah.
that's your whole life.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to
best to
insure
yeah.
your stuff.
Yeah.
If it gets damaged or stolen, especially if you're in a country like far away from where you are, it's best to get it insured.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll talk about that in another video, like insuring your gear.
Actually, I would be so interested because I'm not
travel insurance. Yeah, hey, because what happens most of the time, from what I understand, the plans that you can get are if you insure things, if you insure assets, then your insurance company, depending on the circumstance of the damage or the loss or theft, you get the equivalent of, like, you get enough money to buy another one, to buy the same thing back.
Nice.
If you're not able to recover it.
Nice.
Because imagine you've like saved all this time on your computer, which is that's how you communicate, that's how you do everything. Can't be typing an article on your phone, and then boom, it's gone. Then what? If it's gonna take you like another 3 months to save, are you gonna are you gonna be able to save and make anything because you don't have your computer? So
that's true.
So it's really that's one thing to think of. Choosing places to go. Do you have in mind where you want to be?
Yes. I have specific places, but for me this year, the reason I actually say I want to travel every 2 to 3 months is because a lot of the places I want to visit this year are like expensive destinations, as I said earlier. Like it's places where like it's like a hot tourist attraction, and even the times I want to go, it's like peak time.
Yeah.
But it's because I want to go and do specific things in that city, or I'm going for a specific event which is happening during like peak season. Otherwise I would have chosen somewhere else. So for me, I would say if you've already like, I don't know, traveled to, if you don't like basic traveling, I don't know what basic traveling is, but if you're not too keen on where exactly you want to go, but you just want to like, you know, experience more and travel the world, then I would much rather, I would advise you to check for places that are not as popular, or that you go to even the popular places when they are during the off-peak season, just so that it can become cheaper.
My whole thing is, I don't know, it kind of changes. I was telling her that I'd like to spend some time in the Balkans and Eastern Europe this year, just because I've explained this in my US visa video, that there's a hack that you can go into all these other countries because you have a US visitor's visa and like you don't need any further paperwork.
That's amazing.
That's fun. I'm gonna hang out in the Balkans for the summer.
I didn't even know that.
Also, as you know, I'm always chasing festivals and things like that and new experiences. So February I will be in Zanzibar, probably not the whole month, but
what's happening in Zanzibar? The same thing you went for?
Yeah, that's mid-February. So yeah, and for me it's kind of not random, but I like to move around neighboring countries in one go. Yeah. And I like to be in a place for a long time. I don't want to be there for 3 days. I want to really be there.
Same.
Go grocery shopping.
I feel like I want to travel, but I'm also not the type of person to be like 3 days here. Like I want a bit of stability for a while.
Yeah, we talked about in her video Bali being like a really big digital nomad place. Yeah. Because a lot of people move there from, especially the UK and the US.
I actually didn't know that.
Australia, because it's close, because they'll get the same salary that they would at home and live a lavish life because it's much cheaper. Yeah. And that's really like one of the big things that made Bali what it is today as a traveling destination. Yeah. And so I think it's worth it to look up places like that, which are a low cost of living.
I thought Bali was all about just the beaches and the Instagram life.
Cafes everywhere, like where you can work, sit and work. Co-working spaces even, co-working and co-living spaces. Wow. There are all kinds of things like that. And like there'll be, with that kind of place, you start to get a community, like a business community, an expat community or whatever. So I think if you are looking into doing this, kind of try and look up, if you feel like you have a city in your mind, I don't know, like Budapest, look up Budapest digital nomads, Budapest co-working. That's a good idea. If you find things, that means that the stuff is already set up, and you'll be able to thrive there as like a digital nomad, because I think a lot of people worry about, so now I have to sit in the house alone and that's it. Like I don't have friends now, I don't have like work friends.
It could be lonely, especially if you're a social extrovert.
I think either way, because like I think it's so easy for me. I'm someone who's like happily, I'll stay in my house, I'm good, and I wouldn't even think anything of it, and then like and then and then like I don't know, maybe what is it? Do you know that thing, Fanta face, Coke body?
Fanta face, Coke body?
Yeah, it's like when somebody's bleached their face.
Oh!
We'll call them Fanta face. So yeah, look up, if you have a place in mind, look up a digital nomad life or cafes to work at, things like that. By now, there's a blog on everything.
Yeah.
Especially in like popular places.
Yeah.
I think that for me, I'd like to keep spending time and like traveling within Africa. So maybe there's a little bit less information.
Same. And you know, traveling in Africa is actually expensive, you guys. Like,
can be.
I was comparing some flights, like the flight that I paid to
airfare's jokes.
Lagos from Cape Town, and then I compare that from Nairobi to London. Because I want to go to London.
The same.
It's the same.
And then it's like. And
but
then
the thing is,
like,
it's also probably because of the time I was going. Because in December, that's when everyone is going back to Lagos. Because now I checked, like for now, like if I was to go there like in February, it's like half what I paid.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna do another video also of like how I research flights and like some hacks to do that kind of thing. But yeah, just look up the city and digital nomad cafes to work at, how is Wi-Fi, blah blah blah. But I feel like you can make anywhere work. You know what I mean? Like you can go somewhere and you can. By now, things like Wi-Fi are.
That's true. And it also depends on what you're into, like when you're traveling. Like if you're not the type of person who wants like so much luxury, like you know, staying at the best hotels, staying at doing fancy things. I don't know. You can actually go to even places that are such hot spots, but then it's still a very affordable trip because you can decide to maybe stay in hostels or maybe stay. I don't know, share and you're getting an Airbnb, which is a room in a house, so you're not getting like your whole apartment.
Yeah.
Just little hacks here and there.
Speaking of that, what are you thinking for finding a place to live for this 2 months, 3 months that you want to be somewhere?
Hey, okay. For me, I'm still stuck on Airbnb but also I know it's expensive. Airbnb can get very, very expensive. So what I would want, if I was to travel for like 1 or 2 months, the first thing I would do is like find out if I have any like friends or family friends in that area who I can stay with. I know a lot of people maybe might not have that luxury. I think living in Cape Town, like I ended up meeting so many people from all over the world that I know there's so many places I go to and I have a place to stay.
You have a connect.
Yeah. But if it's not for the whole period of the trip, maybe like 2 weeks I stay with them, 1 week I book an Airbnb or something like that. For me, I'm not that good with like accommodation. I feel like I always overspend on accommodation.
I'm like not cheap, but I'm very, very, very stingy. Like I don't want to pay for accommodation. I do, but as far as long term, I've talked about doing workaways on my channel. Generally, like that's how I like to roll like that because that's one, you automatically have people in that place that you know and you have advice. You're able to get advice from them about the place.
That's true.
2, it's a good place to stay. 3, it can be a little bit tough. Like I found it a little bit difficult. My last month in Cape Town, which I lived there in 2017, the whole time I was there, which was 9 or 10 months, I did workaways at hostels, at backpackers. A lot of people don't like recognize the word hostels as like not the university.
Oh yeah. Okay, like backpackers. I remember backpackers. Yeah. And
so the thing about workaways is you're exchanging work, so you still have to give them a little bit of your time. Generally, like the kind of accepted norm is they're not paying you, so you're working part-time, so you're working 5 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week. Some people generally people go with that. Otherwise, you kind of just have to check with reviews and see if this is a fair person and if they're gonna like stick to that or not. So I would work 5 hours a day I would either do their social media or help at reception or here and there like take guests out and do like beach days and pub calls and stuff. And then the rest of the day I had to myself to like write my articles or whatever I was doing, work on YouTube videos.
So you were never spending on accommodation in Cape Town?
Never.
Oh my god.
Maybe like 1 or 2 weekends. And then like as I was there more and more, a lot of people from the city I went to university in Port Elizabeth moved to Cape Town, so I had friends already. I had been there like 3 or 4 times before moving there.
It helps to know people in a certain area.
Yeah, like sometimes like there was somebody I was seeing, and so it was like, okay, I've stopped working at this place. This place doesn't seem ready for me. I'm just gonna come stay with you. Cool. Not a question.
No, for real, that helps. That's definitely
you can
helps.
do that. My plan for this year is to do workaways, to continue doing that because I really like the community that you get out of it. And even though I was in Cape Town for a short time, again it feels like home to me because I have an entire family. Because I lived and worked with these people. You know what I mean? That's me. You can. There's also house sitting. Have you ever considered house sitting?
Actually, I have, but I don't know why I didn't even bring that up. I've never tried it, but it's something I've thought about.
So you can house sit for people, you know.
Yeah.
And there's like trustedhousesitters.com and like I'm sure that
Actually, what's it called? What's the
Trusted House Sitters.
I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah, so it's just like you just arrange with people. Maybe they'll like interview you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, just take care of my cat. We're going to our summer house in wherever.
Yeah.
So this place is empty. Literally, some of them are literally like, honestly, like you can use our car,
Yeah.
water our plants. That's
Yeah.
it. Like don't burn down the house. Bye.
Literally, and you can
And
get
you
some
don't pay
really beautiful, like you can get like a mansion and
Yeah,
you just,
people's holiday home.
yeah.
And they're not dead when it's not that summer or whatever it is. Aside from that, I do know of people who have just gotten like 3-month leases or 6-month leases where people rent kind of like short to medium stays.
Yeah.
It really depends on the place.
Because that would be cheaper than Airbnb.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of have a mini lease, so you're kind of paying like the average rent for that place.
Yeah.
I saw a lot in Cape Town.
Yeah,
But Cape
yeah.
Town is a place where there are many people who travel seasonally.
Yeah.
Like the summertime, everybody knows the models are back. It's
Yeah.
it's fashion season.
Yeah.
Or there are a lot of people who will be there working on films.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a lot
true.
of films and ads and stuff get made in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who kind of live there seasonally, and so there's a market for that. It really depends. Like if you were to be somewhere like, I think even Nairobi, there's setups like that. Like they're like service apartments and stuff like that that you can have for a month or two.
Yeah. They're expensive. For a lot of places where you like, it's usually expensive to rent out for like 1 or 2 months because they expect. I don't know why.
But still, you can, even on Airbnb, you
Yeah.
can just contact the host and be like,
Yeah.
hey, can you give me a discount if I stay
True,
for 2
and actually
months?
on Airbnb for a lot of hosts, if you're staying for more than a week, and they'll give you like a 10% discount. If you're staying for a month, they can give you like a 20%.
20,
Yeah, so
You can maybe even talk to them and like see if there's
negotiate.
more.
Yeah.
If you, even if it's like, I'm willing to pay upfront 3 months. How about
Yeah,
you just give me a-
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's the thing. Also, again, I say don't underestimate Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Or like specific to the place that you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Specific to experts of the place you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Just look through, like ask questions, see what other people are asking and what people are sharing. I think that's a really good resource. Do you worry about like having a network and like leaving friends, being in many places, and so now kind of losing touch and like losing relationships?
No. Imagine I don't. Actually, to be honest, I don't. And I don't even think it's because I'm a person who is like so good with communication, like I keep in touch all the time. But because I'm not like, for me, out of sight, not really out of mind, but I'm not the best at texting. But because like when I was living in Nairobi, I never felt like I was gonna lose touch with my Kenyan friends. Like actually, I still have like the friends I had in high school are still my closest friends till this day. And even living in Cape Town, for me, I just always sort of like, I know I'm coming back. Like I don't think this is forever, so I'm just going for a short period of time, maybe a long period of time, but I'll always come back to visit. So I've never felt that way.
At the same time, we're both single, so there's there's also that.
That's true.
Can't help you there. If you are coupled and one of you wants to be someone who doesn't, I don't know.
I guess if I was dating and my partner wanted to like stick to one place and I wanted to travel, maybe that would be an issue.
Yeah.
But for me, no. I'm a free spirit. I'm just like flying around the world. Not yet, but
Yeah. Goals 2020.
Yeah.
We're 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
It's fine. We can do it. Do you explaining it to family and stuff? Are your family like flap your wings? Or people like, what are you doing? What do you mean?
For me, as
you
long
should be
as
saving your money.
No, for me, okay. My mom would definitely encourage me to save, but also she's always brought me up in a way that she tells me that you're a citizen of the world, so never stick to one place or feel like you're only supposed to be in one place. Like always feel free to travel and experience a lot, because my mom is a big time traveler. She loves traveling. So even my dad, for them it's just sort of like they understand how traveling can really
Impact your life.
The exposure, it will open up, like you'll be at a different level than someone who's not traveled as much, or because you're being exposed to so many different cultures, so it's making you,
There's so many things you have to deal with.
yes, it makes you grow
Watch
up.
her 2019.
It makes you grow up a lot quicker. So for me, my parents are always just like, if you have the money and you have a bit of savings, like you have like savings, like emergency savings, then use the rest for travel.
I think my parents are more or less the same. My dad has also traveled a lot. for his work.
Yeah.
And my mom has traveled a fair bit too, and they're just, I think for me,
we're being chased out. So we will continue
to get this information. Wow.
Okay.
We're back. Technical difficulty number 17.
Honestly.
18. Fine. We're still here. Okay, so I think I was talking about my family and my parents.
Yeah.
I think that for me, because I was saying, maybe in this video, the last one, I got a remote job while I was still at university.
Yeah.
So most of my work life has been remote, and has been pursuing travel, doing this YouTube, doing my vlog. So I think by now anyone who knows me is like, oh, she's like, where are you now? Like, where in the world are you?
Yeah.
So it's really like the attitude for people who know me, and especially my family, like at this point she's gonna do what she's gonna do. I think for you, if you have issues with that sort of thing, the thing that speaks is like having your own money and resources and just doing it. Like my parents weren't super happy that I went on that Euro trip, but it was like, first of all, I was in South Africa and they were,
And you're alone?
yeah, I went alone.
Wow.
And it was just like, I texted them and I was like, book my flight, I'm going to Venice in 10 days, yay. And they're like, oh. I'm like, first of all, I told you I was going to do this for a year.
Yeah.
And you thought I was just talking nonsense.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. So I think it's like, if you are actually having an issue with like parents, guardians, a husband who's a dead weight, I don't know. I'm kidding.
No, that's a real issue.
I'm joking. But if it's anything like that, the thing that'll speak is you actually saying you want to do this thing, making it happen, and them seeing, okay, he or she is dead serious, and they're gonna do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Just in case you're having that issue.
Yeah.
Two of us can't relate.
Can't relate.
But yeah, that's we're in this noisy bar because we got moved.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
And it's like getting to happy hour, so everyone is like out.
Thursday in Nairobi, the dogs are out.
Yeah, literally.
But follow along with both of our channels, both of our Instagrams. I'll put everything, all the info here, and in the description and in the pinned comments.
Yeah.
And just see how we do in our year. We're just figuring it out. We're just trying it out.
Yeah.
Nobody really has things figured out. We're just
taking life as it comes. And if you have any more questions as well, feel free to ask them in the comment section.
Yeah. Embrace the remote life.
Yes.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
If you're a Kenyan passport holder, I have made my ever popular visa free spaces. So look at those first. Generally, if you're allowed somewhere visa free, you can be there for 3 months.
Yeah.
With no added paperwork or whatever. So look into that. Look into my other visa hacks. If you have a different passport, you can check the passportindex.org, I think. I'll also put that down there. So just as a place to start, as places to choose. Oh, you can do it in your own country.
Exactly. There's so many places to see in Kenya, first of all.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Where else can people find you?
On Instagram, Teshiogalo, YouTube, Teshiogalo, website, teshiogalo.com. Yeah, Teshiogalo everywhere.
Thanks, guys. We hope that this was helpful to you as at least an introduction into unconventional, location-independent life.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you in the comments. Bye.